Here we go, sunshine. Oh. Oh, here we go. Yes, we are live. But even though we're scheduled to go live right here, right now, there was going to be an interview. I thought I would still come on here. There have been some personal challenges that I'm sending my very best out to Claudine. Make sure she gets her situation handled. But seeing I was here, we'll just reschedule the interview, you know. So we had it planned. She was really excited about coming on and asking me questions. So I thought what I would do is handle any questions that come in live, so you guys can put it in the comments on whatever feed that you have here, whatever platform you're watching it on. And in the meantime, I want to tell you 5 things that I would do if I was to start again in property. Or start again in business, start again in property. Basically, if I was to start again, no contacts, no money, can't really say no experience because now I have the mindset of it. But let me know any questions. First of all, let me know where you're watching it, what platform you're on. Just put it in the comments. As soon as you comment, it will let me know. And let me know where you are in the world. Yeah, where you are in the world and what you want to get out of this. Yeah, like if you was going to hear what it is that we can do. Now I've got the whole session to myself, yeah, as well. What I could also do is make sure I give away some sick gifts. Yeah, some sick gifts. So at the end of this, for the people who qualify, so you need to share it and let me know you shared it on whether you watch it on YouTube, LinkedIn, or Facebook, whichever platform or page you're watching it on. And then also tag at least 10 people. Yeah, at least 10 people. Yes, from Luxembourg, new to the real life tribe. Yeah, we're excited to see your success. Yeah, so you guys can ask me questions along, but I'm going to tell you what I would do. 5 different things that I would do if I was to start again. For those people joining, expecting me to be interviewed by Claudine. Yeah, there's just some personal situation going on that I hope that she gets sorted very quickly, pronto. But in the meantime, you guys can ask me questions from whatever platform you're on. And then here's some of the prizes. So to qualify to get any of these prizes that we're going to do kind of like raffle style is some coaching. Yeah, it can be some coaching, one-on-one coaching from our certified coaches. It could also be my book. Yeah, my book. It could also be some online products. Yeah, some online trainings that will really help you set up your business and rock it. So, yeah, so but to be in it for a chance to win, by the way, you got to share this podcast, share this live, this feed, whatever it is you're watching, and hit at least 10 people up. Put them in it, like tag at least 10 people. Yeah, I'll be able to see that come up, but you got to let me know that you shared it, right? And then you'll go into the prize draw. Or it also could be some of the very latest high quality merchandise as well that you can order from our store. So whoever's going to win tonight is going to win for free. Yeah, but let me know. You got to tag at least 10 people in there in the comments and hit the share button as well. Yeah, so what are 5 things? And by the way, you can ask me any question as well for the length and duration of this podcast. But what would I do if I was starting again? Yeah, so ask me what you want me to start again in, but I'm going to start with if I was to start again in real estate or property investing, what would I do? What would I do? And then we can even ask and figure out, is it anything different to how I actually did it? Yeah, but now knowing what I know, now knowing there's so many ways to make money, by the way, I'd be excited. And actually, I have started again. Yeah, I have started again many times. I've started again in new areas around the UK, new areas around the world. I've started in new strategies, not just real estate investing. Like, you know, like you could say it's really easy to transition to a buy to let or do a HMO or do a service accommodation. But I also transition into larger things as well, and hotels and resorts, and going through all the due diligence and basically buying businesses. Obviously, I've got experience in business. but not in the hospitality sector. So here's what I would do if I was starting again from scratch. The first thing, let's say I'm totally broke, got no money, and I need to figure it out. Let's say I've just been sacked or been made redundant, or I don't like my job. I want to give you the advice and relate to as many people who might say, listen, my back's against the wall. I want to create a new life. If I was starting to create a new life, how and what would I do? Yeah. So the first thing that I would do is get really stuck in to finding deals. I would build relationships with agents. I'd get myself known as the action taker, the go-to person who can move quickly. Yeah. So then I would do two things. The first thing I would do is I would get out there into the property investment industry, networking. Yeah. I would make sure I'm getting to a network, and I would make sure I fully understand what it is that people want. For example, people may just want a deal to invest in and get a fixed return. Yeah, I actually was able to get hold of someone at the weekend who wants exactly that. But some people, they may want to invest in the deals themselves. Now, let me know if anybody's watching this, by the way. Like, what are you looking for? Are you looking for a hands-off investment just to get a return on your money? Are you looking for some equity? So like you want to joint venture with someone, but only put the money in and they do the rest of the work? Do you want to take on the deal yourself, like, to purchase a deal, run the whole project yourself? Or are you also looking for someone to run the project? So I would get into the investment networks. There's plenty of them out there. There's loads of them on Facebook. I can get into the live arena as well. I don't have to go very far or online. It wouldn't be so difficult to find out. So I start building my network of agents. So I'm going to find the deals on one side, and then I'm going to find what everybody else wants. Yeah. And then I'm going to start matching people up. This way I can start making a few £1,000s from deal sourcing if my back was against the wall and this is what I needed to do. But at the same time, I would start raising money. There's so many different ways you can raise money. I can raise money from credit cards, massive, easy way to get it. Yeah, credit. But let's say I got bad credit. Can I get some loans? Yeah, there's some people out there that would give me loans. Yeah, and the worse your credit is, yes, the higher percentage they're going to charge you. But imagine they charge you 10%, 15%, 20%. Imagine they charge you 20%. All I need to do is go out and find a deal that's going to make me 40%, 60%, 100%. And by the way, already on this phone, it wouldn't take me long to get hold of a deal, which I already got some, by the way, 4 deals, which they're either just under 100% or some of them are over 100% ROI. Now, if you don't fully understand that ROI, basically it's like the return on investment. So basically, let's say if I invest 10,000 into a deal, more than likely that would be like a rent-to-rent deal or a rent-to-SA deal, then a rent-to-service accommodation. Then within that year, if it's going to generate me £10,000 net cash flow, basically that's 100% ROI, because it's going to give me the money back. Yeah, so some of them, so basically I would get that rolling as well. So not only would I source some deals, make a few £1,000s, but I would also want to start getting some cash flow with some high returns. So I borrow as much money as I can get my hands on, whether that be through joint venture partners, whether that be through credit cards, whether that be even through personal loans. If I had a house that I was living in, that I owned, I would also look to remortgage that. Now, some people get scared about that. They're like, oh yeah, but like the interest rates are going to be a lot higher. Yeah, but the calculation you've got to do is how much money can I get out of the property? Yes, my payment will increase, but how much money? Because some people I speak to a lot, and many of them can get over £100,000 out of their house. They've got more than £100,000 equity. So if you're going to pull £100,000 out, yes, it's going to add £100,000 to your mortgage. But what can I do with that? Because if I can go and put that in multiple deals, I could go and probably put that in 5, 10 deals. Maybe I'll put it in 4 deals. Depending on how I want to structure or what kind of deals I want to go into and how quickly I need the money. If I need money quickly, let me know, want to hear if there's anybody who needs money quickly, because then I'll go down that route. Yeah, because there's 3 major ways. Yeah, one is quick wins. And that would be deal sourcing. That could be rent to rent, any type of rent to rent, whether it's rent to HMO, rent to service accommodation. And then there's also like doing project management. So if I'm going to be out in the field and doing it and building a team anyway, then I definitely would source deals to people. And then where I could also is manage their project. I would be building the teams to do my own projects anyway. So for me to then just benefit from the economies of scale and then do some more people's projects, that like I've taught many people to do that. So I know if I was starting again from scratch, that's another thing I would do. But I would also start my purchasing route, because this is then like a quick win is the one I said, the three, right? So the first one is a quick wins, and then the second one is like medium return. So basically where I'm going to start to see the benefits in the next 12 to 24 months. That's what I class as medium returns. So some good tasty flips could do this. I mean, sometimes you can get returns in 6 to 8 months on flips. But like if I say, yeah, a year, get some tasty returns, I'm thinking 50K plus. Anything less than 50K, I can normally do that with a bit of a, lighter refurbs. But I always want to add a bedroom on a flip. So if it's a 2-bed, make it a 3-bed. If it's a 3-bed, make it a 4-bed. Why? Because it makes the gap bigger. Anyone who's been attending my training, I always talk about the gap. It's not about what the price of the property is. It's how big can the gap be? Yeah, how big can the gap be between what it's going to cost me to buy and renovate versus what it will be worth at the end? I mean, I know it sounds very simple, but a lot of people, they get sucked into, I want to buy a property that's only 100,000 or 150,000. It doesn't matter how much you buy it for. It matters how much the gap can be. And in fact, spending more money on properties and doing it up and creating more value is a bigger way of how to make more money. A lot of people, they miss out on the big, tasty income because they are scrimping and scraping, either trying to do it all by themselves, or trying to spend less all the time and cut costs, cut corners, all this jazz. Try and negotiate everything out the deal. What that does is really limits how many properties you can go and buy, because you're always looking for a deal. Second thing is you negotiate with every freaking else, brokers, solicitors. So you're always getting the cheapest people. And the cheapest people ain't going to give you the best job, especially when you go into the contractor and the builders. So the construction teams, you want cheap there. Cheap today is not cheap tomorrow, my good friends. Yeah. So by the way, if you want to win, anyone listening or watching here, you want to win any of the following: one-on-one coaching. 3 months one-on-one coaching. Maybe we even give you a ticket to some training, some 2-day trainings. We've got 4-day trainings coming up over the next few months. We may give you a book. We may give you some merchandise. We maybe give you some online. So if you want to be in for this, just hit the share button on whatever platform you're watching this. Let us know that you've done that. And then you got to tag at least 10 people. 10 people into whatever platform you're watching. Someone say, can someone send the link? You mean the link to this? You mean the link to this? Yeah. I mean, if it didn't go out in your emails, I mean, it normally does. But if it didn't, I would check into that. And we'll make that happen next time. So what else are we going to do? If I was starting again, as soon as I would be getting things going, I would hire a dedicated bookkeeper. Straight away. And some people, they don't do this because either they don't make money or they don't know how to build a team, they don't know how to build a business. But you have got, like so many people, they're on top of their numbers when they're doing the due diligence. Not everybody, but most people, they're on top of their numbers, they do the due diligence. But then as soon as the freaking business is happening, as soon as the deals are happening, then they're no longer taking care of it anymore. And that's why projects slip. So if I was starting again and I wasn't capable of doing the project management, so you got to ask yourself, if you're just starting, am I capable of running a project? Because if not, you've got to get a project manager, and they're worth their weight in gold if you get the right ones, if you get the trained ones, if you get the ones where their reputation to get your project right is worth more than the few £1,000s you're giving them, the 10, the 50, and the £20,000 that you're giving them. If their reputation is worth more than that, meaning they are building a business, they're not just doing a few here or there, one hit wonder, made a few thousand, messed it up, but still they made their money. Then definitely freaking worth it. So let me know what's coming to mind here. Yeah, what's coming to mind to the private Facebook group and to everything. Yeah, very good. Oh, nice one. Yeah, I can see lots of people want to qualify for winning the goodies. Yeah, winning the goodies. Yeah, so hit the share button, tag at least 10 people. You've been with a chance for a raffle at the end of people. You got to share it, yeah, and do it. Yeah, share it and do it. Share it and do it. Yeah, okay. Rightio. So what else would I be doing if I was starting again? So yeah, the quick wins. I would get the quick wins of the deal sourcing and my rent to essays happening. I'll be raising and getting my hands on as much money as possible. Yeah, credit cards, personal loans, remortgaging, sell stuff. Oh my God, sell stuff. You know, like if I own my car cash, I would sell my car and get one back on lease. You know, with a couple or 300, few £100 a month. To then use that cash, because imagine if I can sell it for like even £10,000, but now I can invest that money and start getting a return on a rent to service accommodation, which by the way, a lot of the deals, like the last 5, 6, 7 deals, is £800 minimum on a 70% occupancy minimum. Some of them are 1,500. Yeah, and some of them, if they get block bookings and all the rest of it, they, you know, like they can work out even more. And if you get them in the right areas and you deliver the right product to the right clientele, then even better when you match all those things up. Yeah. But it's also about hedging. I don't want to just do one deal. You know, if I'm starting, I mean, I didn't do one deal when I first started anyway, but like if I was to start again, I would definitely be pushing many deals. Why? Because I need deals that give me money quickly. Yeah, like I would source them, project manage them, and then I would get some rent to essays and so on. Yeah, I would also be building the median returns. So I'd want to get, and by the way, you do it like, you don't start them all at the same time. You know, I get them through the first phase, which is the buying, the raising the money, the exchanging, the completion, and get that going phase 1. And then my next one is going to be starting the process of finding, funding it, exchanging, completing. By the time the first one gets to phase 2, then my next project is in phase 1. Yeah, so these are like the buy and sell or the buy and hold strategies that I would be doing. And then I would be getting the third project and so on. And as they all embark through the different phases, and some people say, well, that's a lot of work, Mark. Why would you want to do that? Oh my God, it's a lot to deal with. I tell you something, this is a big misunderstood thing. You know, if you go from step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 on one project, and then you're like, okay, that's good. We got that right. Let's go to the next one. Or most time you get it wrong. And then you're scarred anyway. And now you're scared to start the next one. But now you got to go back to step 1. Well, you kind of forgot what you did then because it's been months. Yeah. And so it's always then like a difficult learning process again. Yeah. So what I actually like, this is what I did when I started. And then, you know, if I'm going to start again, I want to do the same, is make sure that I start, you know, step 1 and get it to step 2 and then get the next one at step 1, because step 1 is fresh in my mind, you know, exchanging, completing, dealing with brokers, the banks, you know, the questions, the solicitors, the agents, the vendors. Yeah. And then get the next one to stage 3 and then the second one to stage 2. And then let's get another one going on stage 1. Because now that's 3 times I've done step 1 in quick succession, and I'm getting quicker at it and I'm getting better at it. So people say, oh, you know, it's taking more time. Well, actually, I'm benefiting from economy of scale. Does this make sense? Let me know if this is adding value to you. Let me know in the comments. Yeah. Because for sure, one of the biggest things that is a killer of success is when people don't listen. Yeah, is when people don't think, well, let me have a tried and tested framework from somebody that is not just made it work for themselves, is actually making it work for others. Because just because you can do it for yourself, that doesn't mean. Yeah, well done, Kat. Yeah, nice one. Yeah, so definitely this is what you got to do, but then you got to have the nice systems, and it doesn't have to be complicated systems, man. Like I did at one point, we were running 14 different projects, and I thought, you know, to get on top of this, I started with Zoho. Started using software called Zoho. Cost me like $1,600 or pounds, can't remember which one it was, for the year. And it had like Gantt charts, you know, so everything showed up on all the different, like we could select the projects and they would all start showing up, so we could make sure teams were moving on to the right phases. And it still didn't freaking work. So now, after all the reiterations, I'm back into Google Sheets. yeah, with different tabs for different projects and different phases to make sure I know what's in each phase and how much I should pay until it's done. Yeah, and anytime, because I'll give you the truth now, I haven't always ran every single project like that. Yeah, when I got complacent and I wasn't tracking it, that is when the freaking problems show up. That's when the problems show up. So keeping it easy, keeping it very basic of what are the items that are under phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, and how much is that worth, and so on. And it's even better. And I tell you what I would do differently. And actually, if I start again, this is what I would do, because I didn't do this when I first started out, is I would leverage more money from the banks. Because even though we raise a lot of private finance, joint venture finance, and all the rest of it, we actually then use that to put deposits down for houses, borrow the money from the bank just for the purchase of the house, and then use investor finance for the build. But now I know that actually, if I was to start again, I would borrow the money for the build from the bank as well, because then all that private finance that I can go out there and borrow, I can use it for the next deposits, yeah, for the next projects and the next houses. Yeah. And also what I would do from very early on is I would make sure that I am benefiting from working with the government. Yeah, because this is one thing I never even took into consideration. Yeah, and you can do this. Like, I mean, it was kind of obvious that HMOs are only charged at 5% VAT. So all of our costs and all the rest of it, you know, to do with the project, we were kind of getting 15% discount versus when we do a flip. New builds, yeah, 20%. 20% VAT, zero for new builds. So like it's just exempt. Yeah. So again, being incentivized to do so. Doing commercial properties, which by the way, service accommodation comes under that. Social housing comes under that. They give us capital allowances. Yeah, for doing crazy ass projects, which again, people would stay away from, but projects outside of the norm where we have to do research to figure out how to fix these things and do out of textbook. You know what I mean? Yeah. You can now also apply for research and development loans, like not loans, research and development kind of rebate. Yeah. So, hey, listen, reach out if you want help. I'll help you with this in the tribe, out the tribe, whatever. You know, obviously I help a lot of the real life tribe and we do a lot of things, but anybody who wants help on this, reach out to me. I will make sure I point you in the right direction so you can do this. Because there's nothing better, I think, than a bunch of entrepreneurs coming together, all rooting for each other, wanting each other to win. I mean, that's the culture, yeah, that we built within the real life tribe. But like, you know, and obviously not everybody has that benefit. I mean, it can, but not everyone we want, you know, because not everyone is have high levels of integrity or high standards. Yeah, and that's why not everyone can handle our training, because we are so vigorous with, you know, like getting results. You know, we ain't messing around. Yeah, let me know if anyone's been on anyone listening or hearing to this. You've been to the trainings. Let me know what it was like for you. Was it just a walk in the park? Was it easy peasy? Was it, you know, pushing your buttons? Did it help you shift or what? Yeah, let people know in the comments. Yeah, so that's another thing I would be doing, is all the government incentives. And another thing, if I was starting again, although, you know, again, I did kind of get this a few years into when I was doing it before, is you got to see where are the grants and where are the loans, again, that councils and governments and certain associations are giving out. Yeah, because sometimes thousands and thousands and thousands of pounds for regeneration or empty homes, or you know, like what's it called, like deprived areas, where things need to be brought back up to the standard, because if not, it causes the government more problem. You know, especially if they're empty homes can cause a problem. So they put budget aside to want to help people. Some of these things can be freaking free, you know, free money, like the 0% interest. And some of them, they can be grants. So they're not even loans. They're just grants. They're given. Yeah, given. In fact, someone at our training a couple of months ago, it wasn't the last one we just did, a couple of months ago, They got a grant. I can't remember if it was 16,000. You basically got given 16,000. Can you imagine you come to a training event, you're just starting out in property, and all of a sudden you get given £16,000 to go towards a project in a certain area? Yeah, this is the kind of thing that happens. Yeah, this is yeah. Yeah, good. So hey, what else would I be doing? And by the way, let me know if you've got any questions. Let me know if you've got any questions that, hey, this question, I want to either get started, or I got this fear, or I got this challenge, or, you know, I started, but I've stumbled and I've stopped. Like, what question do you have right now? Because I don't think there's anyone that we can't help. I don't think there's anyone right now, because it ain't about just saying, it ain't about just saying, yeah, let's make some moves, let's invest in property, yeah. Or it ain't about knowing all that, like, oh, I need to know the entire plan, what's the next 55 steps. No, it's about knowing the next 3 or 4 or 5 steps. I mean, yeah, you got to trust that, okay, after I've done the first 5, I need to know the next 5. But one of the biggest things that stops people is they think they got to know everything. You can't know everything. You know why? Because knowing only comes from doing. Like, if I tell you something you don't know, I've given you insight. Like, look at all these books. This book is not knowledge. This is a big mistake people make. The books are not knowledge. The books give me insight. If I turn that insight now and use it to better my experience, meaning I take the insight and I can create a better experience in business or negotiation or whatever, now I'm gaining knowledge from the experience. Experience is the only teacher. Yeah, that is it. What's this question here? I want to flip a property, but I'm worried it's going to really stress me out. Well, look, if you're going to let me ask you now, why are you stressed now? And that's why would I ask that as the first question? Because if you're stressed now, then which stress do you choose? You choose the stress with your current situation, yeah, or you choose your stress where you're going to learn lots of stuff and make some money. Because I've done flip projects that have gone drastically wrong, totally wrong. Like, I got to the end of one before, just about to sell it. So let's can I have the building control, and then we're done. So then I ring up the builder and say, hey, we just need the building control sign off. And they said, oh, I thought you were dealing with that. And we got to the end of it and there was no freaking building control. So, like, we didn't even notify them. We'd done a loft conversion. We'd gone out in the back. And some people think, oh, this is terrible. Listen, I made these stupid mistakes. And that's why I want to help people not make these mistakes now. Yeah, so we were finished. We had to drill holes in it, reboard things, replaster it, repaint. We had to drill inspection holes, see the insulation was there, the right wood had been used, the right strength, and all of this had been used. Yeah, and in the end, we still made £14,000, even though we totally freaking messed it up. Yeah, so when you do your numbers properly and you build in enough of a gap, then even when things go wrong, like I always say, I don't teach people how to do things when they're going right. I like to equip people how to handle it when, not if, but when it goes wrong. Yeah, because a lot of people, they'll come online and there'll be lots of videos of this is how to do this is how to do that, but there's very little of how to handle the problems. Yeah, and I actually love the problem. I think I attract them, because I think I love them. I think I attract them, or maybe they just happen to everyone. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. Do the problems just happen to everyone, or is it only certain people that attract them? But Kat, what you're asking is, you want to do a flip property. Listen, just work your numbers out properly. Yeah, and what you do is you work out your primary exit for that deal would be, yes, you want to sell it. But what you would also do is work out the numbers and say, well, if I didn't sell it for the price that I actually want, yeah, then can it still work as a buy to let? So then we do the research on, well, what would the rent be in that area for that type of property once you're finished? And if I was to refinance it, what would the mortgage be? And can I make sure that I'm making profit once a management agent has took their little slice as well? Yeah, because if I can do that, then it means I can hold on to the project, hold on to the property for as many years as I need to until it does come up in the market, either higher value now because it's many years down the line, or just the market's a bit more riper for the selling, and then I can sell it. Yeah. Obviously, you got to do your research, but then also it's good to compare. Like, don't sit there and do it yourself. I've had many people just go into deals and they sit there. Like, you've got to be able to soundboard with other people who know what they're doing, who have done it, who I like to call the trigger pullers. Yeah, you can't just take advice from professionals. Yeah, there's the brokers out there. Yeah, there's the solicitor. I mean, my solicitor every time, she's brilliant, by the way, world class, world class. Yeah, and if I listen to her, I wouldn't do any deals. But she's doing her job. She has to give me the professional advice up there. Here's the risk. What about this? What about that? Yeah. But when I want to do deals, yeah, when I want to pull the trigger, then I go to my mentors, I go to my coaches, I go to my colleague, my associates that pull the trigger themselves, that have done multi-million-pound deals themselves. Well, how can I ask someone who's never done a multi-million-pound deal whether I should pull the trigger or not, or whether this is a good deal? Yeah, it doesn't make any sense, does it? So you got to make sure you're around trigger pullers. Yes, I hope that makes sense, everyone. Yeah. Do you do the research for different strategies in advance? Just in case one strategy. Yeah, absolutely. A minimum of 2 exits. I mean, you're going to be coming to our training in April, I believe. Are you coming in April? I mean, definitely coming to one in May, I hope. Yeah, but in April, I'm going to show you exactly how to do it. I'm going to show you exactly how to do it. Yeah, exact numbers and all the rest of it. So yeah, for sure. Like if I'm doing a flip, I work out primarily, yep, okay, that's if it's a flip. But if it's not, does it still work as a buy to let? Yeah. Or one time, we were doing a flip. I was actually doing it. I already started the purchase process, and we changed the strategy halfway through. And actually, rather than getting the work done to be a flip and make it a house, we made it into 5 units. Yeah, that we rented out per room, and I refinanced it, pulled the money out, paid the investor back that way, and I've still got that house even today. And that was many, many years ago. So I've changed it halfway through. Yeah, halfway through the project. No, I wasn't halfway through the project, but we were going through the purchase, and then we switched strategy before we started the work. So that's even happened before. I've even built a new house before that we wanted to sell as a flip, and then we actually retained that. And even today, I've still got it. And that was, 3-4 years ago, and I had to retain it. But again, we took the money out on the refinance, and we got the money working for us. This is the thing. Yeah, not only, so I think I'll give you 4 major ways what I would do if I start again. And here's a 5th one, yeah, which is repositioning. I would get into repositioning much quicker. It took me a few years to realize, hey, I was hearing like Grant Cardone, don't sell anything, don't sell anything, don't sell anything. Yeah, but what I didn't realize is repositioning is absolutely gold. Got to get rid of low performing, but like if I'm getting a return on investment for whatever happens around 10, 15, 20%, some people might be happy with that because the bank doesn't give them anything. People will invest with us. And by the way, if you want to invest with us and in my business, my team, then, reach out to me privately, and we can see, what are your credentials. We'll see what your credentials are to see, if it's the right fit. But when people also, so if I see my deals only making 10, 20%, but then I'm like, look at like all my new deals. I'm like, yeah, but hold on, like, look at this. Like this one's making 50%, this one's making 80%, this one's making 100%. The repositioning of my existing equity, either I go refinance and pull it out, so because I want to put it into these other deals, or I do let it go and I sell, so I then can reposition the money to get better returns. Because it's all about longevity. Yeah, it's all about like how can it last me years upon years upon years, giving me cash flow every single month. Cash flow. Like some people say, oh, cash, I want to make 10 grand a month. You don't want to make 10 grand a month, yeah, unless it's on autopilot. That's what I class passive income as, autopilot. I didn't say no pilot, I said autopilot. Yeah, autopilot being like I've got to run reports on it. I've got to have people managing them. I've got to have, an overview of what is happening, what is going into the bank, what is going out the bank, what profit is left, how is the business running, what are the accounts basically at the end of every financial year, and make sure everything is running efficiently and effectively and doing what it's supposed to do. Yeah, which is raise the standard of living, providing luxury, secure accommodation. That's what the mission for basically for my property, I call it the normal real estate side of my businesses. Yeah. So let me know if you've got any more questions before we start wrapping this up. We have got still a bit of a while. Just for those people that thought they were tuning in for me to be interviewed by Claudine, who's one of our most successful tribe members, as well as one of our real life results coaches. She's had some personal situations yet to deal with. So she's absolutely doing that. I'm sending some love and energy out to that. And but I thought I would just come on air anyway. I had it scheduled, and I thought I would just come and add as much value as I possibly can. So let me know if you do have any questions. We will be rescheduling the interview between me and Claudine, so you will still get to see that at some point down the line. So let me see what questions we got you down. When do you think bookings will pick up for rent to SAs? Yeah, so it is about nowish. Obviously we've got the Easter holidays and some other holidays coming up, half terms, this kind of thing. That's when the families are going to start to travel, and people have had their rest after the Christmas and the New Year. So that's going to start to happen. But also one of the things is you've got to make sure you get the right, because I haven't always done this either, and obviously once I've took action now, I realized okay, and this is where I might reposition some of my assets. I've actually just had a service accommodation that I owned, which was great because I got the capital allowances and all of the tax-free money that the government want to give me. But now, because of some changes with the permits for the parking, it's made it very difficult for short stays people to get these permits, because it takes a while to get the permit. So by the time they got it, they're leaving. So it doesn't make sense. So I've actually turned it into a HMO. And I'm actually making more money now as a HMO because I used to give it to someone else who was doing the SA, so they were making the margin on it. But now it's back as a HMO, and all the rooms add up to more than what I was getting paid before. So that's another way I've had to pivot. I had to pivot and reposition current assets. So hopefully that answers your question there, Kat. How do you construct a team? Yeah, so many, I know you just registered and you come in part of the tribe and stuff. So the 21-day property challenge will tell you exactly all the different components and the different players that you need in the team and that you need to start reaching out to. But here's a big mistake that people make. They start going out and they start speaking to everyone when they got nothing going on. Like the broker ain't interested, the solicitor ain't interested, the builders definitely ain't interested when you've not got nothing to talk about. Well, they just say, come back to me when you got a deal. So the best thing to do is get the deal. So use the strategies to find the deal, whatever your strategy is that matches, hit your goals. And then once you go out there, and you've got a deal, now when you go to build your team, they're very interested, and then the timing is better. And you find more loyal these things, and obviously you get to see how they perform a lot quicker. But you also do want to go off recommendation. And if the golden bullet, if you ask me, is to work with someone whose reputation is worth more than the money you pay them. Does that make sense what I'm saying, guys, when I say that? To work with someone whose reputation is worth more than the money you pay them. For example, when people invest their money with me, my reputation is worth more than the money they're giving me. So it's a good deal for them because they're like, I can't mess up. So they're extra secure. Not only is it going into real estate and it's secure through that, but like I can't afford, your £200,000. My reputation is worth more than that. Like if someone's like, oh, this guy borrowed money, didn't give it me back, that's no good. It's no good for my real estate business. It wouldn't be any good for real life and the culture and the ethics and the morals. So my reputation is worth more. Does that make sense? So like if you got to have a builder whose reputation, because they want to continue to do work for many people, so they're not just a one-man band, if their reputation is worth more than the money they're making on the job, the margin they're making on the job, because you've got to imagine the £200,000 you're paying them, they don't keep that. They don't keep that. So whatever their margin is, if their margin is not it, the reputation is worth more than the margin they're making. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay, good. What else we got? Can I rent a property I own to my company to run as an SA? Can I rent a property I own, so in your personal name, I'm guessing, to my company to run as an SA? Why would you need to do that? Is my question. You mean to get the money, the money that it generates in your company? Yeah, that's really interesting because you could do that, but what would the benefit be? Because then the company makes the money, the company has to pay you, but you could position it in a way where you just be very tax efficient. Be very tax efficient. But yeah, the first question would be, why would you want to do that? And I guess it would be something to do with efficiency. Yeah, but also they just changed the rules for people who are owning service accommodations, just like they did anyway with all rental properties. Now all the people that own houses that are and I think the reason they've started to do this is because so many people were just renting their rooms out, renting their houses out, and there was no tax in it for the government. Yeah, so now they've just wanted to say we're changing the rules so we can tax your ass on it. Yeah. Okay. Good. Let me know if that answers your question. I sat on the floor in the gym watching this. More important than my workout right now. Well, good job. Yeah, good. I mean, you can still do your workout. Just put it in your ears. You don't need to see anything. You just need to hear it. So makes sense. Yeah, good. Hey, butchers, you're live. What are the compliance requirements for rent to SA? So when you say compliance requirements, what do you mean? Yeah, because basically you're going to want to have a contract set out that says the terms, and unless you can tell me what requirements in particular you're after, but you need an agreement that clearly states the operation that you're doing, which is basically subletting. So then the compliance is, and a lot of people get caught out in this, especially in big buildings, that some of them don't even allow subletting. Yeah, so you got to make sure that that's there, and other people who have mortgages, yeah, you got to make sure that their mortgage allows it. So you're asking about anti-money laundering? Is that what you're asking there? Because I'm not sure that is what you call it, designated to rent to SA. So if there's a particular question, but obviously you are going into the mastermind where obviously there can be some to and fro in, so you can have a conversation. So get into the mastermind at 8, ask that question. Yeah, ICO is if you're handling the data. So all of my property companies have registration with the ICO because we're handling tenant data. But that's not very much, 40 or 60 pounds a year or something like that. Can't remember. Something along those lines. Yeah, so let me know if that answers that. And yes, to claim more capital allowance. Oh, okay, I get you. So then your company would have to own it. Your company would have to own it to be able to benefit from that. So like if you own it in your own name, but you're only just rent. You see, because if I do a rent to SA, I can't claim the capital allowance. The person who owns the building can claim the capital allowance. Yeah, but actually, coming to think of it just now, we actually have got a couple of specialist people within the real life tribe that they literally specialize in the claim of capital allowance. So they are the ones to probably answer that better than me. So I might get these guys back on it actually, because it's probably been over a year. When I logged on here, by the way, it says just using this software, because I've done a few podcasts without this, but it said we've done 196 of the episodes just using this software here. So yeah, we've been going for a good while now. And some of them we've done on Zoom, and some of them we just gone directly onto Facebook and things like that. So yeah, absolutely. So anyway, at least we had a good chin wag and we didn't do nothing. Hopefully it's added some value to you. So, hey, listen, I'm just going to give you a few more things that will help you get started or help you get restarted if you've already been out there and you've come onto a stumbling block. So last chance to get yourself into the prize draw. So you need to tell us you've shared it on whatever platform you're watching it on and tag at least 10 people. Go ahead and do that. Get yourself in the prize draw before the end of this, where we're going to do the little raffle so you guys can be winning. Yeah, so go ahead and do that. I'm going to be giving either way free coaching or one of my books or an online training program, and also merchandise. Yeah, some merchandise. Yeah, so yeah, training, coaching, book, online program, merchandise. Very good. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah. So what a little other bits of gold. Yeah, the gold thing is as well, and people just don't listen to this advice over the years. I mean, some of the people that have become hugely successful, but you must keep investing in training. Yeah, and I mean it's got to be real training, like going to the gym. Yeah, like you don't just go to the gym and just look at the machine and be like, oh, that's a nice machine. Oh yeah, that looks like it will work. I mean, if you're involved in masterminds, you've got to be involved in masterminds, asking questions because you're doing something, because you're finding deals, you're out in the marketplace, and then when you come and ask questions, that's like, oh, I'm lifting the weights. Am I lifting the weight right? You can't just say, yeah, that's how you do it. Like until you start lifting, until you start doing it, until you start feeling like, okay, I've done some work here. Just like I've got to feel like I've done some work. Find the deals. I've got to do some work. Like I've got to go and raise the finance. Yeah, like if you're not doing that, if you're not taking those actions, nothing that you say or ask or do has any freaking relevance. Like if you're just sitting there asking question after question, but you're not doing, like the question's not related to what you're doing. Because if you ain't out there finding deals, if you're not out there raising finance, if you're not out there pulling teams together, yeah, if you're not out there, basically, like some people are like, oh, but I've messed up and all the rest of it. No. Listen, there's someone out there who would love to be in your position that they actually freaking messed up. Yeah. And I mess up all the time, by the way. I mess up all the time. Yeah. And that's how I learn, by the way. Yeah, just like having a PT. Like, what are you going to do? You're just going to sit there and have a conversation about what workout you should have? What? That's no good. Yeah, this is a big misunderstanding. And by the way, if people even listen to this now, they're still going to make the same mistake rather than get out there. Yeah, so get out there. And that's why on our programs, I mean, many of you names on there I can see, you guys have already been there. Like, that's why we do the work there and then. And by the way, sometimes that's too much for people because they want to sit there and they're used to just sitting there with no pressure, like, oh, just, listen, I'll just write it down. Yeah, good. I'll just do some networking. I mean, guys, even going to networking events is a waste of time unless you're doing anything. Unless you basically don't want to do anything because you're already free financially, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and you're just going out there for a chin wag. Which, if that was the case, then you'd be chin wagging at far better places than, invest in little meetups with 20 people there. You're probably going there, sitting in the palaces, sitting in the mansions where they meet up, which no one hears about, because you're not invited to that. So unless that's the case, then if you aren't doing anything, even going to the networking places are useless and a waste of time for you. Yeah, because basically you want to be going there, number one, to advertise yourself that you are an action taker. Like people want to be associated and around the people who are winning. Yeah, and guess what? The people who are winning, they take action. There ain't no one winning who didn't take action. If you don't take action, you're not winning at nothing. Yeah, except you're probably winning at doing nothing. Winning at being lazy, couch potato. Maybe you're winning at that. Yeah. So that's the last thing I want to say. So thank you so much for everybody being on here. Now I normally ask my guests to pick a number. Yeah. So you need to give me a number, 1, 2, or 3. Yeah. And the first number to come up here. Yeah, give me a number, 1, 2, or 3. The first number to come up is what it's going to be. I normally ask my guests, you see, to do it live. So on every platform on here. So what is this? There's another question. You told me to sell my property. I mean, I don't think I would told you to sell your property. I may have gave you an example of an option that you have. I would never tell anyone to sell their property, but it was too attached. It took me almost a year to get my head around it, but now I'm ready to let go to get better things. Yeah. I mean, it's either sell, it could be refinance, it could be whatever. Yeah, but if like if you want to sell it and take the money and then buy another one in a company to then get the benefit of the 30% capital allowance and up to the 75% of that, then that would be it. Yeah, where are the numbers? Does anybody put the numbers in? I didn't see any of the numbers. Put the numbers 1, 2, or 3. Put 1, 2, or 3. 1, 2, Yeah, put the numbers in there, guys. So before we wrap this up, you guys have got 9 minutes before you go into the mastermind. Yeah, Sasha, exactly. Yeah. So that's it. Okay, good. Thank you, Hood. How did you get 69 from pick 1, 2, or 3? That is some freaky maths. Yeah, freaky maths. So we've got the winner. We've got the winner. Yeah. Now you need to give me a number of 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, or 5. 5. Tell me from now. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I'm going to tell you who it is and what they won. And Ian, you was out the blocks again. So basically, Ian has selected this person and selected what they won. So the winner, you got to comment if you're still here. The winner is Dylan. Yeah, Dylan, are you here? Oh yeah, you must be here because you just commented 4. So just comment that you are here. Yeah, and number 5. Yeah, number 5 was the merchandise. Yeah, so Dylan, message the Mark Harvey Real Life Facebook page. Just put in #winner, and someone will get in touch with you, send you a link of our store, our online store, and you will be able to select what merchandise that you want to. Basically, most of it is you can wear it. Yeah, unless you want a coffee mug. Or what else do they do? Blankets, all this jazz. Yeah. Okay. So hopefully you got some value from that. At least we didn't boycott the thing just because we weren't going to show up. Hope Claudine is okay and she sorted her personal situation out. I trust that she will. And thank you. You guys have been amazing. Thank you for the questions. It gave a bit more content on top of the 5 things that I would do if I was starting again. So you got to remember, above all, no matter what you do, you must do the right thing for the right reason, because that is the only way to discover your true potential. Thank you very much. I'll see you next time.